Welcome back, everybody. The History Guy here. I am just about finished with the Confederate Campaign, Ultimate General Civil War. I have only the assault on Washington remaining. And since that's a really, really big battle, and I know it's going to come in several pieces, I thought I would save that for the beginning of next week. So here on the weekend, I'm going to go back to the Union campaign that I just now started. I'm only a couple of episodes into it, and we are now moving on to Logan's Crossroads, which is one of my least favorite battles to fight as the Union. It's a tricky one, and you can take 9 brigades into this one. We're going to go ahead and dive right in. This is one where you kind of start down at the bottom of this hill near a river. I'm going to definitely be outnumbered. And you don't get everything at the beginning. So you get just these 3 brigades to start. And I'm thinking I want to go ahead and get at least one of my... Let's see if this is the one with the... I want to figure out which one of these has the 24 pounders. It's not that one. Alright. Alright, so I'm going to have my 24 pounders and 2 brigades to start. I'm going to move them back as far as I can. Just kind of hang on for dear life until the rest of the troops arrive. I'm going to go ahead and break off some skirmishers. And I'm going to pull back to the railroad. I'm not entirely sure how elevated. Okay, it's not too much of a drop down to there. I'm going to go this way just because the elevation is not as bad there. Alright, then we're just going to kind of push this along until the reinforcements arrive. And here they come. They can have it. This is a really short battle. It's only, it's only what, 2.5 hours. So he's got 16. He's got 11,000 men to my 16. So we'll go ahead and take on one at a time here if we can. We'll reattach these skirmishers as soon as he fires. So because this is such a short battle, I'm not too inclined to push things too much here. I'll let him come to me like he's doing. Light him up and then move the whole army forward all at once. So I'm going to cover my flank over here. I drop my gap back just a little bit, just because of this guy over here. As soon as these guns fire, I'll move them up. Bring Loomis around over here on this flank. Try to get around Anderson. He's really not that strong here in the center, so I know just a little push will be enough. I'm just going to try to soften him up first. Oh, come on. They were just about rejoining the main unit and they got hit in the flank. Jeez, how long are you guys going to run? I mentioned this a long time ago in one of my other battles, but when they run that far before they reform, it always reminds me of Monty Python and the Holy Grail. There's a scene where the knights run away. I think they're running away from, I can't remember if it's the French castle or if they're running away from the rabbit. But at one point, one of them says to King Arthur, he says, "Do you think it would help if we run away more?" And that's what I always think of when I see these guys running and running and running and running, and they just don't stop running even though they're really far from the battle. Alright, so we've got the objective. We're in a pretty strong position here. I don't think I'm going to press this too much. I'm just going to go ahead and keep inflicting casualties now. Alright, I'd say this one's pretty well in the bag. I can remember playing this one where it was pretty tough. But as long as you're patient and you kind of hold back and don't dive right in, it should be a fairly easy battle to win. Wow, this guy just got lit up with some casualties there. let's go ahead and get into some melee combat here. The battle's won. At this point, it's just about trying to hurt the enemy, mess him up for the future campaigns. Casualties are, looks like, about 2-to-1 in my favor. This could be a problem, though. I gotta make sure this guy doesn't get too far ahead here. Come on, my gat, drop back. Oh, Loomis didn't fare so well over there. Alright, let's drop back a little bit here. Alright, I'd say this one's done. Pretty easy win. Pretty short battle. We'll go ahead and just speed it up to the end here. Now we're going to take a look and see what we need to do for the build up to the next big one, which is Shiloh. I think we'll go on here for a little bit, since it's going to allow that. I've got a pretty good advantage everywhere. This is where I feel like maybe I should have brought some cavalry to the fight so I could get in behind him and try to swipe some of his supplies. But I'll be content to wipe out some of his units. Or at least inflict some more casualties. We'll go a few more minutes. Come on, Loomis, back up, back it. No, don't get sucked in, dude. Don't get sucked in. Thank you. Let's get a volley into this cavalry. There you go. He's toast. I'm going to keep this going as long as I can. Keep inflicting casualties. There we go. Bring it on, Pond. Oh, Pond surrendered. How nice. Foolish charge he made right there. Maybe we'll get another one to do the same. Alright, we got these guys driven out. Oh, we got another surrendered unit. Might be able to get one more here with Stevens. Problem is Hampton's Legion's in pretty bad shape. Alright. Let's be content with that, shall we? Okay, so 3,300 casualties on my side, 6,500 for him, plus another over 1,000 between the cavalry and those that I captured. I didn't grab a lot, and what I did grab wasn't worth a whole lot, so nothing really exciting happening there. Brigadier General killed, a Lieutenant Colonel wounded, but I gained 2 new Brigadier Generals and a Colonel. Robert Shaw, look at that. Alright. If you're not familiar with Robert Shaw, that is the name of the young man, and he was a very young man, who was promoted sometime after the Battle of Antietam from being a captain, I believe, to being the colonel in command of the 54th Massachusetts, one of the very first units of African-American soldiers in the war. If you've ever seen the movie Glory, you know what I'm talking about. So he gained 3,500 new recruits, so his numbers went down ever so slightly. That should bode well for Shiloh. Let's look and see what he's going to be facing, or what I'm going to be facing here at Shiloh. All right, 34,000 men. That should be pretty easy to hold because I'm going to have 14,000 troops plus whatever I put into the field, which right now looks to be about 24,000 or so. So, wow, that's really not that many when you think about it. So I am going to be outnumbered, but I think that's okay. Let's just look here. I think it's in 2 corps. I'm not entirely sure of that, though. No, I can put them all into 1. Excellent. That's what I'm going to do. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. I think for the most part, I'll probably create some new units here. But let's see. Alright. We're going to go politics. Need to start getting more troops.
Yes, sir.
Alright, I'm going to look at the army for a second here. Okay. I'll go veteran up to at least 1,500 on some of these for now. In this case, I'll go 2,000. I really want to get some veteran units going. I'd rather have small veteran units, I think, at this point in the game than have a bunch of really weak ones. I guess we're going to go with some farmer rifles here. At least for now. Now we're going to go rookie on these guns, I think. All right.
Yes, sir.
So I'm down to just 780. So I think at this point we'll look at that. I think I'm going to save this for now in favor of the morale. Try to build that up a little bit. All right, so here's where what we're looking at Shiloh right now. We're looking at basically the same number of troops on both sides on day one of Shiloh. And that's actually not a bad thing because I'm fighting a defensive battle, and I think I can make that work. I'm going to probably just fall back all the way to Pittsburgh Landing and make the fight there. So we'll see how that goes. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. That strategy has worked well for me in the past, and I feel like it can work for me here, at least till I start to get an advantage in numbers. Right now I just have a small army, so that certainly hurts me. But if I can hold off on day one here for the counterattack, I should be in good shape when Buell's army arrives. So we'll see how it goes. But as always, I thank you for watching. If you'd hit that thumbs up, I greatly appreciate that. Subscribe if you haven't already. Check out my Patreon page if you haven't already. I want to give a shout out to William O'Hare, one of my patrons, and he's been following this channel for quite some time, and I greatly appreciate that on all the input that you've had over time, William. And thanks for being a part of all this, and I'll be giving some shout outs to everybody else in the coming days, so be watching for that. And I just want to say thank you for supporting this channel. We'll see you again soon.